I'm Connor Roll, and this is Old Oscar Countdown. And today we're going to be looking at specifically Best Actor, but a nice general overview of who's going to win the 2017 Oscars. This is week 2. Next week will be week 3, and then after that will be the final predictions video. Next week will be Best Actress, but like I said in the last video, these sort of week updates, as I like to call them, are general overviews of things and how they're playing out. In the last video, there wasn't PGAs or DGAs. And I don't think there were SAGs either, so that was just early impressions. Now we have DJs, PJs, and SAGs, the top 3 Guild Awards. We're missing BAFTAs, and Writers Guilds, and unfortunately next week we won't talk about them. But in my final Oscar predictions video, we will be talking about that. But today, let's jump right into Best Actor, a highly competitive category now because Denzel Washington has won the SAG Award and is currently my front runner. Now, believe it or not, I had Denzel going to win since before SAG and at SAG because my prediction was that he never won a SAG award before. So if he wins SAG, he's going to gain momentum and he's going to go through that. Plus, we started to see now at the beginning, Denzel wasn't doing as much in terms of the ground game than Casey was. So if you don't know, a lot of Oscars has to do with just meeting and meeting people and shaking hands and kissing babies and going to every party and every Q&A and all that stuff. Casey Affleck just isn't that's the type of personality. Plus, there's sexual assault allegations going on, so he's just trying to stay out of it completely, while Denzel really thinks he has a chance and is going and doing more of that ground game. I never really felt Casey, because Casey gives an amazing performance, very internal, very inside essentially, but Denzel gives this bombastic performance. If he does win, this will be his 3rd Oscar, which he'll be in the likes of guys like Jack Nicholson and Daniel Day-Lewis, actors like that. And I feel like he should be in sort of that Oscar sort of area. He's beloved by actors, he's beloved by other people, and right now it's a foot race between Casey and Denzel. The other 3, I don't see it happening unless there's a big surprise. But right now it's Denzel or Casey, and my vote is my vote is Denzel, not Casey, just because I think he has momentum. Plus, there's the politics of Oscars so white. It'll be interesting to see if my predictions right now is going to be 3 out of the 4 acting nominations. Winners will be black, so that'll be interesting to see. Almost as a complete reverse from the Oscars so white thing last year and the year before that. So then Denzel winning the SAG Award really, I think, is a big thing for Denzel. Just the things, the momentum and whatnot. And I just, like I said, for all those reasons. Andrew Garfield, he could win at BAFTAs, which could give him a little bit of momentum. I'm not exactly sure how well Hacksaw Ridge is going to do, which goes back to the entire overview, which is I'm not entirely sure how movies are going to do because of La La Land. I think La La Land is going to win like 10, maybe 11 Oscars, which is incredible out of those 14 nominations. So, and then the question is, sort of leaves everything to the side. Like Moonlight has 8 nominations, but I only think it's going to get 2. Manchester by the Sea, right now I don't think I'm predicting 1 for Best Original Screenplay, but that might change to La La Land. We'll have to see with the Writers Guild and BAFTAs how that works out. And then also something like Hacksaw Ridge or Arrival. I mean, it could get some of the technical ones like sound editing, production design, or something like that. But it's hard because La La Land could just get the sweep mentality, especially through the lower ones, and then get things like Emma Stone and get Best Picture and get Best Director, and really just sweep up at the Oscars. Which, I mean, no matter what's going to happen, La La Land will do well at the Oscars, I think. It's just, I mean, I thought that since day one. You know what I mean? It's a fantastic musical. They love that sort of stuff. But there's some interesting stuff. Casey was so far ahead. That's the only worry I have, is because Casey's won all these awards, and then Denzel wins SAG. But like I said, we have to look at the guilds. Because something like the Golden Globes, Casey won, but that's a Hollywood Foreign Press, a very small group of people, don't represent the Academy at all. And what happened there was I don't think Fences was even nominated for Best Drama Motion Picture. So they didn't really like Fences that much. They gave it to Viola Davis, and that's the award. Which brings back to, is it Denzel? Because Manchester, I think, has got a lot more nominations than Fences, which only got 4. But it did get the Best Picture, it did get Adapted Screenplay. And I know some people that are actually picking it to an adapted screenplay. So there could be a little surprise there. And I think if you see Fences, Denzel gives the most performance. Viola gives an incredible performance too. And they just give the most out of everything. These big, bombastic, powerful scenes really stick in the minds of people. And the only question is, Denzel, his character is a bad guy. You don't want to root for him. That could affect it ultimately in the end. But right now, because it's not like the best picture preferential voting. It's just who I think is going to win. I think there's a lot more support for Denzel, and he seems like a great guy. And that SAG speech really did help him. But the thing is, he's not nominated at BAFTA. So if Casey goes up there and wins, which he probably will, that means Casey could get a little more momentum. And Denzel sort of out of people's minds now. But if say someone like Andrew Garfield wins, then everyone's going to move to Denzel because Casey didn't even win BAFTA, so his momentum was clearly dying down. But it'll be interesting to see. I think, as a total, do they like Manchester by the Sea? Because I'm not really feeling the love right now. It's losing in screenplay now. It's losing in actor. It could go home with Zip. It'll be interesting, but. And then the last two guys, Ryan Gosling could get caught up in the La La Land sweep, but I think that's more Emma's ball game. And then Vigo. I think that it was just an honor to be nominated. Now quickly, let's just go through some of the below line categories, because that's a big question I want to raise today. Is how many Oscars will La La Land win? Right now, the La La Land points that are vulnerable for me are so it has 14 nominations, but 2 in song, so it can't win that. So that's one. And then it can't win actor, Ryan Gosling. And then I'm thinking screenplay. I'm thinking sound editing, and then I'm thinking production design. So production, I think Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, sound editing, which I might switch. That's the one I'm a little easy on. Screenplay, Manchester by the Sea, and then actor, and then of course the extra song nomination. For writing guilds, we'll talk about after the WGAs and the BAFTAs. That will really tell us, because there's something like Arrival could get in for adapted screenplay. But that's it. So La La Land, I think, is going to not get that. My reasoning for that right now is just Manchester is going to get the screenplay. That's going to get its award, and then Moonlight's going to get the screenplay award. But then ultimately, La La Land is just going to pick up everything else. Those are ways to give back to Barry Jenkins and Kenneth Lonergan. But I think sound editing, sound mixing. This is a really interesting one for me, because sound editing, you have something like Hacksaw Ridge or War Film that normally wins, and then sound mixing almost always goes to musicals, because someone like Whiplash got in there. But the question is, musicals almost never get nominated for sound mixing. They normally get they get nominated for sound mixing, but not for sound editing. So the only question is, maybe they just like the loud movies, so they give it to Hacksaw Ridge, or will it be like last year, Mad Max Sweep, where in both categories they just check sound off, La La Land, because they don't really know the difference. It'll be interesting to see for sure. And the production design, not a lot of people are talking about this. I think it's super vulnerable there. Arrival has a lot of strength in the crafts, and I think that if it's going to win anything, it's not going to win editing, possibly screenplay, but it's just like a 3 and a 4 in a lot of categories. And it could be like American Hustle. It could be like A Martian, right, where it gets like 8. Martian got 8 or 9 nominations and didn't go home with anything, and sort of just lose to Mad Max and all those things. And this way, Arrival lose to La La Land in these scenarios. But I just feel the love for Arrival a lot in those below line tech categories. And even could be a surprise upset for sound. Don't be surprised for that for sure. What else? Next week we'll be talking about actress and the shorts, and like documentary, animated, and but like right now for this week, as a general overview, OJ is still my front runner. Zootopia is still my front runner, although be aware of Kubo and Two Strings I could possibly change to that last minute. But it's interesting so far, because we got something like the races are a lot more competitive now, because Casey lost to Denzel at SAGs. That's a huge thing for sure. And even something like Hidden Figures winning at SAG means that, wow, Hidden Figures could go up. Last time I was saying, oh yeah, I feel the buzz for Hidden Figures. And now when SAG, and now Hidden Figures is going even more up to the buzz. Right now I think I have it 3rd or 4th place for Best Picture. Just because like I feel that supports. You have great box office numbers. It gets a female vote, which is one of the reasons it won SAG. However, though, I don't feel it overall. But even someone like Octavia Spencer could get in. I mean, I think it's Viola Davis in a landslide, but she could get in. And I still say supporting actor category race is a lot. It's more solid because of the SAGs, because Mahershala Ali is a Muslim, and I think this year's going to get definitely political with the whole Trump thing, and then add with the fact that it's Oscar so white and it's about diversity and inclusion. So those things will marry hand in hand, and really can't wait. So I'm Connor Rowland. This has been Old Oscar Countdown. Can't wait to see you next week for Best Actress. Comment below. Let me know what you think of the show, ways I can improve it. Give me a thumbs up. I'm having a blast. I can't believe we're almost there. And until next time, stay tuned.